Hello my beautiful noodles, it's me Nikki, aka Nikki Noodle, and today I am very excited for our video because it's going to be a little bit different. I'm not actually going to be playing anything today, and instead I'm going to be introducing you to something that I've been working on since November. I'm very excited to finally share it. Based on the title of this video, you already know what the challenge is. It is an Eeveelution legacy challenge that I created. As I said, I started working on this in like November, and then I've been working kind of on and off on it since then, trying to get it right, and I am finally ready to actually start the challenge and share it with you all. I thought this was a good time, especially since my Eeveelution cast video kind of blew up recently. So I just thought I would go through all of the rules and each generation and stuff and show you all what it is about. So let's get into it. Okay, so here is my document here, and I'm just gonna go through like the introduction and read all of that for you. So it starts, do you like Pokemon? Do you have an unhealthy obsession with the Eeveelutions? Probably not, but I do. I'm way too obsessed with putting the Eeveelutions into my Sims game, as you saw with my cast video. And now I've created a legacy challenge to do just that. The Sims 4 Eeveelution Legacy Challenge is my personal passion project that I've developed to not only add all the Eevees into my Sims games, but also play around with features that I don't usually get into in The Sims. So one thing that I did really try to focus on when creating this challenge, especially with careers, aspirations, all that good stuff, was focusing on things that I don't typically do in my own Sims gameplay. I've said it before, but I will certainly say it again, that I am a bad Sims player. I love casts, I love building, I love the challenges, but free play, like just normal Sims gameplay, I'm terrible at, and I do not explore any of the features of like when I buy new packs. So I do actually own quite a few packs at this point. Not a ton, but it's a decent amount, and I have not actually played through like any of them fully, because I usually buy packs for the clothes and like build items that come in them really bad, or some gameplay, but like specific aspirations and stuff like that I don't usually look at all. So I tried really hard to focus on some of those features that I don't usually use. Then I go on to say, please note, when I came up with the idea for this challenge, I did Google to see if it already exists in some capacity. And there is an Eeveelution Legacy Challenge that was made by Blue Pixels on Tumblr. I have it linked in my document here. It's a very fun challenge. I didn't even look at her challenge when I was making mine, or their challenge. I don't know their pronouns, sorry. So when I was making my own challenge, I did not look at theirs previously, came up with mine completely, and then Googled to see if it already existed. And I think ours are different enough, like the actual stages of each legacy are different. It just both involves Eeveelutions. But you should definitely also check out the other Eevee Legacy Challenge if you are interested in this one. Then I also just go on to say that when I created this challenge, I do not own all of the packs, and therefore there are some like things that maybe could fit better within each legacy or each generation, such as, for example, Island Living would have been a really great pack to have for the Vaporeon generation. But that is all just to say that if you own other packs and want to switch things out, that's perfectly fine by me. Or if you don't own packs, you can definitely substitute things out with that. And I actually also did create an entirely base game friendly version of this, just in case people don't have packs and don't know what to substitute with. I know when I was playing the Not So Berry challenge, just for fun, there were a lot of things that I needed to substitute, so I just wanted to make like a template in case people wanted it, but you can definitely substitute other things. You don't have to follow mine specifically. But the packs that I do include in this version are Cottage Living, Season, City Living, Discover University, Snowy Escape, Nifty Knitting, and the Paranormal Stuff Pack. Then just a final note before we get into the generation-specific rules. I'm going to be using she, her pronouns in the rules just for simplicity's sake. You can use whatever gender Sims you want for this challenge. Me personally we'll probably use all female Sims. And I also just think for the sake of the rules and writing them down, I think it's easier to refer to she, her, mother, daughter, etc. So now let's get into the rules. For the basic rules, we're going to start with a young adult sim for the first generation and use normal lifespan. You can use the free real estate cheat to get your initial house, and along with that you can use any mods or cheats you want within reason. Should not affect the gameplay to the point where the challenge is unrecognizable, but have fun. I don't care what you do. Again, we've already touched on this a little bit, but I have offered alternatives for traits, careers, etc. to be base game friendly, but you can always use other alternatives if you feel like there are other ones that fit better, or maybe you have packs that I don't have. Feel free, just make sure the sentiment is the same. And if you have additional careers, traits, etc. through mods, feel free to use those. Next, each generation should complete both the aspiration and the career path unless otherwise stated. You may have your sim go to college to advance their career as long as going to college does not interfere with other rules of the generation. And then finally, have fun and let me know if you use the challenge using the hashtag nikkinoodlegames. So now we are going to get into each generation specific rules. And for that, I have made these fun little graphics here. So to start off, we are going to start with generation 1, which will be Eevee. On the graphics here, you can see I have a summary as well as the rules over on the left, and then all the traits, their career, and their aspiration on the right. I tried to make like a storyline to follow through each generation that also would fit with like the Eeveelution personality. I think it works. So let's get into it. For Eevee, you are a cottagecore queen. You've lived a normal life, but long for more simplicity. You moved to a quaint farm in Henford-on-Bagley to fulfill your dream of surrounding yourself with all kinds of creatures. You love your animals, your family, and your art. So the rules of the Eevee generation is that you must have simple living or off-the-grid lot traits, master the handiness skill, master knitting and or cross-stitching skill, both if you have both packs, and have at least 2 children, but your children have to share a room. The Eevee sim is going to be a bookworm, vegetarian, and animal enthusiast. And Eevee's aspiration is going to be country caretaker. Eevee is not going to have a job. Basically, it's like the 100 baby challenge rules where you can make money any way that you want as long as it is not an actual career in The Sims. So for me personally, it's probably going to be gardening, farming, flower arranging, maybe trying out some of the like errands within Henford-on-Bagley because I've never tried that. So that is our starting sim. That's Eevee. And Eevee is going to give birth to generation 2, which is Leafeon. So Leafeon here, you are a plant queen. Growing up on a farm gave you a love of all things nature. Getting a little dirty never bothered you. As the youngest sibling, I don't think I had that on the graphic for Eevee's slide, but the youngest of all the siblings will become the next generation in that case. As the youngest sibling, you watched as your older sibling or siblings moved out and started new lives, but you were content to be with your mother and your farm. The rules for Leafeon are that you must live with your parents until they are elders. You may then continue living in your childhood home or move, but you must stay within the same world. Leafeon is going to master the flower arranging skill and the cooking skill and have at least 3 children. Leafeon's traits are that they love the outdoors, a slob, and outgoing. The career is going to be the gardening career and the botanist branch, and the aspiration is freelance botanist. On to generation 3, which is Sylveon. You hated living a simple life and always longed for more. You dreamed of moving to the big city and making a name for yourself. As soon as you could, you moved into a cheap apartment in the city, with roommates, of course. You are the life of the party and are constantly going out with friends. You love your family, but are often too busy to keep in touch. Sylveon's rules are that you must have a neutral to poor relationship with your mother, master the singing skill, master charisma skill, move into a cheap apartment with at least 1 roommate when you become a young adult. Once you reach level 5 of the social media career, you may move into a house or a bigger apartment if you have the money for it. And Sylveon is also only going to have 1 child. Sylveon's traits are self-assured, neat, and the snob. Career is social media and the internet personality branch, and the aspiration is city native. Generation 4 is going to be Jolteon. Growing up in the city gave you lots of opportunities. You loved going to all the festivals, especially GeekCon. You made your parents drag you to every festival you could. You developed a love of all things tech and dream of moving closer to the science lab. You always assumed you would go to college and excel. However, once there, you realize you can do more on your own. Jolteon's rules are that you make your parents take you to every festival you can as a child. As a teen, go to every festival by yourself or with friends. Move to the desert as a young adult in order to be closer to the lab. This would be great if you had Strangerville. Enroll in college, but drop out after one semester. I've also never played through the whole university pack, ever. Master the robotics skill and master the logic skill. And Jolteon's traits are geek, ambitious, and perfectionist. The career is going to be a freelance programmer, and the aspiration is computer whiz. Generation 5 is Glaceon. Also, I should have pointed this out earlier, but all these Sims on these graphics are not the actual Sims for each generation that I'm going to be using. I will probably use the Eevee sim in Generation 1, but then obviously after that, like, the genetics are going to determine what the next generations look like. These are just the Sims from the Eeveelution cast video. So, Glaceon. Living in the desert made you desperate for cooler weather. Moving to Mount Komorebi ignited a passion for skiing. However, clumsiness has kept you from pursuing an athletic career. Like your mother, you are technologically gifted. So Glaceon is going to master the skiing skill, which I've never skied at all in The Sims. Master the programming skill, go on a friend's trip to Mount Komorebi as a teen and then move there as a young adult. Go on a run or to the gym or ski every day, or at least almost every day. And meet your spouse at the gym. Glaceon's traits are genius, adventurous, and clumsy. Career is engineer and the mechanical engineer branch. And the aspiration is extreme sports enthusiast. Generation 6 is Umbreon. Growing up in Mount Komorebi was terrible. You hate the cold and the weather always made you feel gloomy. You don't understand your mother and she doesn't understand you. You are emo to the core and it's not just a phase. You enjoy shutting yourself out of the real world and creating your own world to get lost in. Regardless of your inability to create relationships, you've always longed for a child. Umbreon is going to master the piano skill, master the painting skill, move away from Mount Komorebi as a young adult, you can move anywhere, have no romantic relationships, and adopt at least 2 kids as an adult. And they can be any age. Umbreon is going to be gloomy, creative, and a loner. The career is going to be writer and the author branch, and the aspiration is going to be best-selling author. Generation 7 is Vaporeon. You loved and adored your mother, but you always felt a stronger bond with your grandmother. Unlike your mother's serious attitude, you've always been a total goofball. You never take yourself seriously and bring a smile to everyone's face. You were naturally athletic, especially when it comes to swimming, and bonded with your grandmother over a love of fitness, something your mother didn't understand. You love everything about the water. You would live underwater if you could. Umbreon is going to complete the fish collection, have a good relationship with both mother and grandmother, but be best friends with your grandmother. Live in a lot close to the water and have a pool, master the fitness skill, and master the comedy skill. The traits are going to be active, goofball, and family-oriented. The career is going to be athlete and the pro-athlete branch, and the aspiration is angling ace. Generation 8 is Flareon, and funny story, I was creating these graphics today and then realized I did not have Flareon in the challenge at all. So I tried to fit Flareon in here. I think it still fits to the storyline. I hope anyway, but anyway, Flareon always had a fiery personality that clashed with your mother. Because fire and water, you get it. You respected her love of water but never understood it. You decided to pursue a more conventional route and spent most of your life focusing on your studies, only to later wonder if your mother had it right all along. So Flareon, I'm picturing as like the kid that grew up being like, you're a professional athlete, like that's not logical. That makes no sense. I'm gonna take the conventional route and study really hard and get a good job. And then while they're in that job, they're like, man, this sucks. I wish I was doing what I loved, like my mother did. So Flareon is going to complete the artistic prodigy aspiration as a child and also play violin. Sorry, you better get used to the child's violin. Flareon is also going to go to college and get a degree in language and literature, join the law career but quit before reaching level 10 in order to pursue their dream of being a musician, and then they're going to start busking for money. They are going to master the research and debate skill and also master the violin skill. So you can busk with either the guitar or the violin. I think you can busk with the violin. I don't really know, but busking. I don't care what kind. And Flareon is going to be hot-headed, genius, and a music lover. I think I've used the genius trait before, but at this point I was running out of traits that would make sense for their personalities, so there's a few repeats. It's fine. And Flareon is also going to go into the law career in the private attorney branch, and their aspiration is musical genius. And finally, we are at Generation 9, which is Espeon. Espeon has always been the odd one out. You have a love of the macabre and all things spooky. You love cats and the paranormal, and that's it. You are living your best life and have no desire to have kids. Espeon must live in a house with the Spooky Lot Challenge, collect all frogs and crystals, master the medium skill, master the mixology skill, and have no children. Umbreon's traits are going to be kleptomaniac, non-committal, and hates children. The career is going to be the paranormal investigator career, and the aspiration is going to be the curator. Now, along with those 9 generations, I also have, if that's not enough for you, if you want to continue the challenge, you can have Espeon become a vampire and complete one of the vampire aspirations as a little continuation. But that's it. That's my entire Eeveelution Legacy challenge. Again, as I said, if you try this challenge, I want to see it. If you make Sims for the challenge, or you could make spouses for the Sims, or make your own Eeveelution Sims, or if you try this challenge, I want to see it. So use the hashtag nikkinoodlegames. I have that on all of the graphics. I'll have it in the description of the video. I am concerned about doing the 100 baby challenge and this challenge at the same time. But the plan right now is to keep 100 baby challenge on Sundays and then do the Eeveelution challenge on Thursdays starting next week, because this week is the 13th, so I have a Taylor Swift video planned, of course. But I am just going to play it by ear. If I feel like it's too much to handle, I might take a little bit of a break from the 100 baby challenge because I'm getting a little burnt out anyway. Or I might do like alternating weeks of 100 baby challenge one week and then this one the next week. I don't know. We're going to play it by ear, but I'm really, really excited to share this with you all. It's been in the works for a while, and I'm just so happy it's finally getting out there. I'm sorry that this wasn't like a traditional gameplay video, but I just really wanted to go in depth within this challenge before I started it, and hopefully get you guys excited. So if you are excited for it, leave me a like or let me know in the comments. I'm really excited to start this. Also, if you know how to share like Google Docs without making all of my information public and without like people being able to edit it and stuff, let me know, because I'd like to be able to just link the Google Docs for you all, especially like the base game version, since I didn't go over that one as in depth here. So if you know how to do that, let me know. But that's all I have for you. If you want to find me anywhere else on the internet, check out the description box. If you want to subscribe, we'd love to have you. But with all that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day or week ahead of you, wherever you are, and I hope you're excited for this challenge, because I know I am. Bye guys, love you!